Champion Bowl is the scene of the first meet of the season as the Ottumwa Bulldogs are taking on Des Moines Hoover. Welcome on the Ottumwa Radio Group Sports Network as you're watching live on our video stream on the Ottumwa Radio Group Facebook page on this Tuesday afternoon before Turkey Day. So how about some bowling taking us into the break? I'm Ellis Kojo. I'm joined by Tyler Clubb, my last-minute edition. I really appreciate you joining me, especially since I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. There's a lot of chaotic activity. The meet already began, and from what I understand, it's, 2 games individual, and then we go to Baker, right?
Yep, so 2 games individual, and they will bowl 5 Baker games, which is team games. So each bowler will bowl 2 frames in each game.
And
they're looking for a strong season as well this year.
Let's take a look at Maddie Green. She is lined up for her spare there on lane number 13, as you can see. And she left 3 there. So with the action going so fast, especially, is it hard to sometimes slow down and keep your composure in individual games?
It is. If it's quick pace, it's hard to keep calm and focused on what you're doing because you're just going so fast.
How is Des Moines Hoover as a program?
So from what I've heard, they just got a girls team 3 years ago. And I think it's starting to come around overall as a whole program. They're starting to better themselves.
There's a strike fired by Mackenzie. Didn't get a last name.
Mackenzie Clubb.
Oh, she related to you.
That is my sister, yes.
There you go. Good sis putting them down.
Yes.
So good job by her. So how are scores accumulated in a bowling meet?
So if you usually if you have enough numbers on your team that you will have 6 bowlers on varsity, 6 bowlers on your JV team. You'll take your top 5 scores from your 2 individual games, and you'll minus out your lowest score, and then take that total into your Baker games and add up all your Baker games for your final total.
You say you can take out 1 score from the individual.
Correct.
And that's typically the lowest score is taken out.
Correct, yep.
How many, because I know there's varsity and there's junior varsity, so how many girls, since we're looking at the girls right now, how many girls are on the varsity team?
So this year for Ottumwa there is 5.
Okay. So they really can't sub out anybody for an individual round then?
Correct.
Or even for the Baker round?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So everybody will bowl every game.
Has there ever been an instance where there's been bowlers that say injured themselves, couldn't continue that? Would they bring up somebody from junior varsity then, or how would that work?
So in a meet, if somebody was to get injured, I don't think you can bring up somebody from JV to finish the meet out.
So since things are going so fast and furious here, how do you know when, or how do you know how you're doing? Like, as far as like this currently during the tournament.
So you in a tournament you continue based on they post results sometimes.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yes. So just usually not in regular meets like this, but if you're in a meet with say 16 teams, they'll keep you updated by posting results after each game.
I've been in open bowling before during a high school meet, especially on a Saturday. There are teams that are rowdier than others.
Yes.
What is your methodology when it comes to that? Do you like the rowdy teams? Would you rather people be quiet while you bowl?
So the girls here, for example, they are a very rowdy group. Whenever they get going, they get in the flow. They tend to get loud, which I think is a great thing. I mean, I think a loud team does better than a quiet team.
Mm. So we're watching Tyler's sister Mackenzie stepping up to the line right now on lane 14. And she puts all 10 of them down. Good job, Mackenzie. That's pressure, too, doing it on camera, but she was able to come through. What year is Mackenzie?
She is a sophomore this year.
Okay. All right. Sophomore on varsity already.
Yes.
Pretty impressive.
So, yes, very. So last year she qualified for state as a freshman. Obviously as a team. They went as a team, but also individually.
Okay. Awesome. So when you go to state, do you go to state as a team? Do you go to state individually? How does that work?
So last year the state changed the format of the tournament up and how to qualify. So now at state qualifying meets, you bowl 3 individual games, and that will go towards your individual qualifying. And then you bowl 15 Baker games. So the 15 Baker games is what will qualify you as a team.
Okay.
And then the 3 individual games is for individual qualifying only.
That was Brooklyn Welsh you just saw get the 10 pin on 16 for Ottumwa. I think with any game, and me being a very elementary bowler myself, any game is basically you just want to build momentum, build marks, and the strikes let them come where they may, but you really just want to get your spares where you can. There's a tough split there for Maddie Green of 5-7.
Right. Spares are very important in games. Spares can make the difference in state tournament. For example, 2 years ago, Ottumwa boys lost by 18 pins at the state tournament.
Ouch.
A matter of a spare.
Yeah.
So all marks count.
That's a tough split for Maddie Green. They're on 13, the 5-7. How do you...
You want to try and throw outside as much as possible and hit the right side of the 5 and shoot it over.
That's exactly what Maddie tried to do, but was unable to do so she got an open frame there. Mackenzie, however, let's see, they're in the, I'm trying to get the behind the Rhino graphic to see which frame they're actually in. They're in frame 5. Mackenzie with the spare and working on a turkey, 3 strikes in a row. So Mackenzie doing pretty well here in the first individual game. And there's Mackenzie Club with the next ball, and that's right down the pocket, but just left the 9 pin. When you leave an individual pin, whether it's the 7 or the 10 or the 9, do you know like how you hit the pocket and what you need to do differently?
Yeah, so reading the lanes and reading what you leave is really a sign of, did you throw the ball, hit your mark, did you hit where you wanted to, or do you need to move your body, move your feet? Obviously here, that was a good pocket shot, just left a 9 pin.
So with her next ball, her next strike ball that she throws, actually, let's hang on, see if she can get the spare, and she did. So Mackenzie with a spare, 3 strikes, and another spare, so a strong game for her thus far. So with her next shot, I know because each lane is different, they're bowling on both 13 and 14. With her next shot on 13, then her first shot, would she adjust or would she keep it the same?
She should keep it the same. That was a really good shot. Just got a little unlucky with the 9 pin, so she just needs to stay there and here in a little bit. If she continues to leave that, maybe look at making an adjustment.
Sometimes I hear bowlers say, "Oh, that was a good shot. That was just a bad rack." What's the meaning behind that?
Sometimes the racks sit down a little bit differently if the pins are still wobbling when you throw. I mean, there's so many different things that could play or factor into a shot.
So as we look around, and as I said, Mackenzie is doing very well. And let's see, trying to look at other scores. Logan from Ottumwa is doing well. He started off with the turkey, then he had an open frame, and then he followed it up with the strike. And I think that's probably the most important thing, too, is that you could really let yourself down, especially if you start off quick with a turkey, 3 strikes in a row, and then you get an open frame. It's easy to slide down and really focus on that open frame like, man, I was off to such a good start. But it's good. It's really important to get back on track right away.
So I know when I was in high school, we always focused on next frame. You just move on to the next frame. Don't focus on that shot, because if you focus on that shot, it's only going to make things worse.
That was a nice-looking spare there, shot by Dallas
Bacon.
Thank you. Wow, that's why you're here, Tyler. Not only do you provide the bowling expertise, but you also can give us the names, because sadly they don't have numbers here.
Right.
Behind the jerseys. Here's Maddie Green again on 14. And another 5-7 split for Maddie. At that point, at some point, when you split like that, you obviously an adjustment needs to be made. But you said, do you move your body? Do you move your eyes? What?
So it just depends on how the ball is reacting. So for Maddie, the ball's reacting pretty well, hitting the pocket, just leaving the 5-7. So what she needs to do is move her feet and not her mark. Her mark, she's getting into the pocket, just leaving that 5-7.
Would an increase in speed help at all, or does that even play a factor?
That plays a factor sometimes, but right now, obviously, she's hitting the pocket with the speed she's throwing and how she's throwing. She just needs to move her feet just a little bit.
We'll see if Maddie can pick up this 5-7. Looks like that's going to be to the left of the 5 pin. So she got the 5, but leaves the 7. So another open frame for Maddie Green. So we'll take a look at By the way, who is a better bowler out of you, you and Mackenzie?
I'll give all credit to my sister.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Being the courteous big brother. That's not bad. What did Mark say?
He said your wife is better than you.
Okay. I don't know your wife. I'm going to leave that one alone. No, your wife. Oh, my wife is better than me. Yes, you're absolutely correct. There's another strike for Mackenzie as Mark talks some trash to me. You're right. Yeah, the women in our lives are better than us.
That's very true.
That is correct. Hey, I'm working on it, though, Mark. Yeah, there's wow. So there, Maddie Green, she missed to the left there. To the left. And so a better leave than a 5-7 split, but still you got the 1-3, 8-10.
Yes. So that's a tough one there. I mean, you just got to hit it right. It's almost like a pocket shot. You kind of got to hit your mark here. Mm-hmm. Has a shot.
Thought she hit it where she needed to. Just sometimes the pins don't deflect the way you need them to deflect. So we'll look at Mackenzie again as we're in the seventh frame of the first individual game. 2 individual games that will be bowled, and then we'll go to the Baker round as Ottumwa is taking on Des Moines Hoover, and here's Mackenzie Club. And another strike for Mackenzie. Big brother applauding along as she is through 7 with a very strong game. 5 strikes and
a nice little
couple of
tap there
spares.
On 16 for Hanley Songer on the 10 pin.
There you go. You see lefties, you also see righties, and we can talk more about the oil and just people bowling in your path. But a lefty, I would think, especially in a meet like this with so many people throwing, a lefty would have a huge advantage because a lot of people are not left-handed.
A huge advantage. I mean, so for righties right now, their oil, their line will probably be used up very quickly here in the probably by halfway through the second game, where the lefties will have an advantage of their line will probably be good through game 2.
Right. So therein lies a very interesting. Well, first of all, let's talk about the oil pattern. Like, what type of oil pattern do are these bowlers bowling on?
I believe it's a kind of a longer pattern with a little bit dryness in the back. So it's kind of different. I don't think they use the same. Obviously, wherever you go, they don't use the same oil pattern everywhere, which makes it tough. I mean, if you go to Des Moines next week, you won't be able to play the same line as you do here at Champion.
So what's that? I guess what's the house pattern? Like, would you call this a house pattern, or is it a different type of pattern?
It's very similar, very, very close to one. I think they maybe make it just a little bit longer than a house pattern.
Okay. Because I know when seniors bowl here, they leave the pattern a little bit shorter. So what's the difference between leaving the pattern shorter and leaving it a bit longer?
So if you leave the pattern a little bit shorter, it gives you a chance for the ball to hook sooner. Say for if you're a little bit not as strong or not be able to throw the ball as good, it gives you a chance to be able to get the ball to hook sooner. So that way, and then the longer pattern, the ball hooks later, which is good for high schoolers because the ball hooks early. There's a very high chance of it going Brooklyn, which means that you're going to have to move soon.
Right, and Brooklyn, for those who don't know, that means when you go out, when you try to hit the pocket on the opposite side of what you're trying to hit. So if you're a right-hander, you're trying to hit the 1-3 pin on the right side and not the 1-2 on the left side. So Brooklyn obviously is 1-2, which you don't want to do, but it's always welcome when you actually do it and you get a strike.
Take them how they fall.
Exactly, but you don't want to try to make a living out of it. That's for sure.
No, that is for sure.
And there's a nice strike fired by Brooklyn Welsh featuring, wonder how many Brooklyn jokes she's heard over the years. Maddie Green on 14, leaving the 1-2, so a better shot by her and a makeable spare for Miss Green. Pleasure to have you with us on the Ottumwa Radio Group Sports Network. I'm Ellis Kojo. I'm joined by Tyler Clubb. Oh, a trip 7 for Hanley Songer. So do the bowlers know how they do at the end of the first game, or did they have to wait until the end of the individual round to find out there's a spare for Maddie Green?
So how they do it is they can see their score, but I mean, you're really not focused on it. I mean, that's what we've always been taught, is don't focus on your score. You don't look up. And so whenever it comes time for Baker games, how they do it is obviously your top bowler will your top series, that's your 2 individual games combined, will be your anchor. And then your second one will be your 4th person, and then so on. So that's kind of when they find out how they did throughout the day so far.
Caden Valentine with a strike on 15, and Mackenzie Clubb on 14 left the 1-3-10, which is a pretty easy spare to make. In the big list of spares, this is like one where you would not mind leaving the 1-3-10.
Right.
So she's working off a double, looking for the spare, and hit the 1 dead on and left the 3-10. So the first open frame for Mackenzie Clubb, still with a good game at 172 through 8. Meanwhile, Maddie Green gets a strike. Maybe she's getting out of the funk that she was in earlier in this first game, as they call the 9th frame the foundation frame. And I think that when I bowl myself and I leave an open frame on the 9th frame, that just absolutely sets me off, because that's where you build your big score.
Right. The 9th frame is a very, very key frame in bowling. As it like you said, it's a foundation frame. I mean, you want to mark there. That's the most important part of the 9th frame. You want to mark at least.
So Maddie Green had a 9th frame and a strike for her foundation frame. Now we'll take a look at Mackenzie Clubb looking to bounce back after her open frame in the 8th. Nice bounce back there as she knocks down all 10 to get a strike for her foundation frame. So individuals are wrapping up their first game of the series. Do they stay at the same 2 lanes? Do they move down a pair of lanes? How does that work?
So for individual games, they will stay on the pair that they're on right now, and then when it comes to Baker games, they'll move to one of the 2.
Okay. I would imagine that Baker games are a lot more pressure-packed because everybody's eyes are on you.
Right.
And that everybody's not focused on their own individual games.
Right. So Baker games and meets, they're very crucial. They're very important because you could win or lose in those games. Coming out of individual games, it's very important to have a lead, because whenever you get to Baker games, things can get tough. And when things get tough, I mean, we've seen it here before at Ottumwa. We've had ties heading out of Baker games.
Wow.
Because Baker games get tough sometimes, and when the person before you say doesn't spare, doesn't pick up whatever they have, it makes it tough for the next person, because then the next person has to pick up their shot.
So it looks like the individuals over at 11 and 12 have already started their second individual game. While we wait for Maddie and Mackenzie to finish up on lanes 13 and 14, Hannah-Lee Songer just got another mark on lane 16. Now we'll take a look at Caitlin Valentine there in the red, ready to bowl on lane 16. And Valentine gets herself a strike.
Good shot there.
Beautiful shot by Valentine for a strike in the 8th frame of their game. Talk about developing a style, a bowling style. And now we'll get into one-handed versus two-handed, because there's a couple of two-handed individuals on the boys' team, and we could talk about that in a little bit. But talk about developing your own style and knowing what's comfortable for you and what's not.
So I mean, it's very important to have your own style. You don't want to do something that makes you uncomfortable or makes you throw the ball different as you want to. And that's one thing good about bowling is that you kind of choose how you want to do it. I mean, obviously your coaches can assist you with that, but they're not going to change how you throw or how you roll it. I mean, that it's very important to have your own way.
Maddie Green, starting off the 10th frame, leaves 5, but a makeable spare for her. Another thing that's important as far as the 10th frame is concerned is getting that extra ball.
That is very important. I mean, that's an opportunity to add 20 pins or even 30. If you get turkey in the 10th, that'd be really, that's what you want.
Turkey in the 10th, that's cause for dancing. At
Yes.
least in the Kojo household it is. And Maddie Green knocks down the other 5, so she gets the extra ball. Really important to get those extra pins because, like you said, you never know like what frame and how many pins it's going to take to win in a team competition such as this one.
Yeah, they make a big difference. Good spare there by Megan Prado on 12.
There you go. Now, another fun thing is that once you do get that extra ball, it almost like as if the pressure is off. Yeah, if you strike, it's fine, but even if you get 8 or 9, it's still good.
So the saying for Ottumwa always has been, the girls are very good at it, is once you get a spare in the 10th or a strike, the next ball is always 9 or better.
Okay.
That's their thought process.
Well, Maddie ended up getting 7 on her last ball of game 1 for a 125. Now we'll take a look at Tyler's sister Mackenzie. Hanley Songer you see on lane 5 left 5, and they're on the 9th frame of the first game. And Mackenzie has a strike for the first ball in the 10th frame.
Good pickup there by Hanley.
Yep, on 15. One thing I like watching about Mackenzie is that she is very balanced.
Yes,
She's got that right leg all the way out and left the 7 there, so she'll have a 7 to pick up on her last ball. But leaving that her right leg way out, it seems like the longer you leave it out, the more balanced that you actually are.
Yeah, she does a very good job at keeping herself balanced in her stance. She also does a very good job at rolling the ball. I mean, that's also a very important part in being successful, is rolling the ball smoothly. If you bounce it, it's not going to hook as good, or it's going to go a different direction than what you want it.
So the spare for Mackenzie. Oh, she missed the 7, but still 220. A very strong game for Mackenzie for the first game of the individual round. Caitlin Valentine, we're looking over at lane 15, looking at the 6'10 spare. And she misses a little bit to the right. When looking at the lineup, do they have the strongest bowler at the bottom of the individual, or do they just draw random? How does that work?
So, Coach Teckle, he I don't think he does it a certain way until they get to Baker games.
Okay.
He kind of splits them up. I think evens them. Obviously, this year, usually there's 6. But this year, Ottumwa kind of low on numbers this year. So each team has 5. So he kind of, I think, just splits them up however, and whoever he thinks will work better with each other.
So that's a great way to look at it, because suppose you and I are best friends. Is that better for us to bowl on a lane individually, or is it better if you and I hated each other and bowl on the lane individually?
So it kind of depends on, I guess, how you are. If you get distracted easily, I would not want to bowl with my best friend, because I will be very distracted.
Okay.
But these both boys and girls, they all do a very good job at picking each other up and cheering for each other, no matter what. No, even if they're having a bad game, their spirits are always up, which is very important.
Most definitely. And I was also thinking, like, maybe you could have, like, a frenemy situation where you're very competitive with each other, and you could kind of push each other that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that in a team setting.
Yes, yes. They push each other to be better every game.
There, Hanley missed the 5-7 split. That's a tough split to get, I tell you what. I know that from experience. So I know you've been writing down scores so far. How are the boys looking?
So far, the high game over there for the boys is Charlie Hanley with a 203. Josh Lee and Aiden have tied with a 194, followed by Tate Walker with a 191, and Logan with a 177.
Okay. How's Ryan Johnson? Like I thought he was one of the better bowlers.
So Ryan is a very good bowler. Ryan is out with injury right now.
I see. Okay. I was one. I like watching that guy bowl because he has such a high high swing. Really,
he gets that really high.
Back.
He almost hits the TVs.
I'm sure because he's not a small guy either.
He's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's a tall dude, and like you said, he really swings it back there. And I don't know. I'd throw my shoulder out bringing it back as far as he does. Great to have you with us on the Ottumwa Radio Group Sports Network. I'm Ellis Kojo. I'm joined by Tyler Clubb as we are continuing the individual games here at Champion Bowl. Ottumwa versus Des Moines Hoover. Oh, there's a strike there for Angela Hill of Des Moines Hoover. So Caitlin Valentine wrapping up her first game, working on a strike on her first ball. She'll be shooting on lane 16. And Caitlin Valentine left to 10. I heard that you can also like tell. Oh, okay. He's got the scores for you as well. So there you go.
Perfect.
See what? There wasn't anything you had to change or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay, good. Oh, I was wrong about Caitlin Valentine. That was her last ball. She was working on 2 strikes.
Got 9 or better.
On the frame, and she got 9 or better, like Tyler alluded to, and got a 179 in the process. So a good first game for Caitlin Valentine. Since this is the first meet of the year, how much do last year's average bear any type of like fruit towards this year?
How it works is it doesn't bear any actually. So They come in and you have to earn your spot. I mean they bowl games in practice, they qualify, and nobody's spot's given. You have to earn it every year.
Dallas left 2 there in the 4th frame of game 2. The boys have started their second game. Take a look at Tate, a 2-handed bowler, and he misses the 10-pin. And you can see a little bit frustrated with missing the 10-pin. That's the pain a lot of us feel. 10-pin has been a nemesis of many, both novice and not-so-novice bowlers. Oof. That one for Aiden.
Ringing 10.
Yes, a ringing 10. That's even more frustrating because you see a pin flying around and just pinging it but not knocking it down. Was that Coach Teckle?
That is Coach Teckle.
Okay, all right. We see you, Coach. And he just missed the 10 pin. A lot of people have different methods of shooting at the 10 pin. A lot of them don't want to lose the hook that they tried to throw on their strike ball, and they try to do that to shoot that at the 10 ball. Some people sometimes just shoot straight at it from an angle.
Right.
How do you personally approach that?
I go way left, all the way left, as far as I can, and I throw straight at it.
That's exactly what I do as well. There's a loft off the hands of. I missed the name.
Logan Shoemaker.
Logan Shoemaker, thank you.
Yes.
And he left the double wood, as they say, the 2-8.
Double wood is always one that's tricky. It's you got to hit it just right, or you're going to hit one and not the other.
From what I'm told, you got to hit it dead center in the front pin in order for it to carry into the back one, because if you just clip it, then it's just going to miss altogether. So we'll see if Logan can take care of this double wood in the second frame. He's working off a strike here in game 2.
Good
and he got it. Yeah, nice pickup there by Logan. Meanwhile, we go back to 14. Maddie Green is facing her nemesis, the 5-7. That is, at some point, you probably feel snake bit.
Yes.
As she knocks down to 5. Because what? That's the third 5-7 split we've seen.
That's the third one for her today.
Wow.
Ooh, bad.
Yeah, good. Brooklyn had some bad luck. Brooklyn Welsh had some bad luck on 16. Getting just one of the two, and there's a strike. One lane over on 17 by Tate. So let's check out now Mackenzie Clubb, her first ball of the second game. And she left a 1-2.
Wee bit outside.
You mentioned, kind of at the top of our broadcast, Tyler, is that right-handers have a disadvantage as opposed to left-handers because almost everybody's right-handed. So at some point, your line's going to disappear because everybody's bowling on that oil and pretty much just going over your path. Right. So what adjustment do you make? Do you change a ball? Do you change your feet? Do you change your eyes?
So right now, you're kind of looking at if it's not hooking enough, or if it's hooking too much, you definitely need to look at a ball change.
Okay.
If it's just you just need to move a little bit, I mean, you could try that for one frame, but if it's not working, definitely you need to make a ball change quickly.
Okay. So if it's not hooking enough, say a right-hander misses to the right and it's not hooking into the pocket, is that so? You don't need a ball change for that, do you?
So if it's not hooking enough, you could try moving right. But if that doesn't work, then you do need to change a ball.
That was a difficult split there for Caitlin Valentine. Just missed it. So an open frame for her to begin the first frame of her second game. I also noticed that it's a decent amount of people here that show up for these bowling meets, which also kind of surprised me.
Yeah, so Ottumwa holds quite a few tournaments. I mean, this year I think we're hosting a couple Saturday tournaments, which will be Baker tournaments, which will be the 15-game format.
Okay.
We do at the state tournament. And for those, it's always packed.
Nice pickup.
Which is very nice because the kids deserve the support, and it also helps with preparing them for the state tournament. The state tournament it's packed. It's packed. You can't move your arms. I mean, it's a packed place. It's very loud as well, so it kind of prepares them for that atmosphere there when they get there.
Nice pickup by Tate Walker.
Good
and there's a strike. Was that by Aiden?
Aiden, yep.
Okay. Nice strike by Aiden. Brooklyn Welsh getting ready to shoot at 15. Looked like she hit the pocket, but a little light. And she left 3.
Maddie
Green on lane 13 leaves the 4-10. Beg that 4-7, beg your pardon. But at least she didn't split like her first.
Yes, that is
like her
always
first
a
frame.
plus.
So to your right, that's Brooklyn Welsh. To your left is Maddie Green. Brooklyn gets the spare. Maddie Green gets the spare. Good job, ladies.
Logan Shoemaker with a good shot there on 17.
Does fatigue ever play a factor in a meet like this for you?
So right now, obviously, it's obviously first meet of the season for both teams.
Yep. A Brooklyn for little sister.
So first meet of the year here. Coming up after the break, after Thanksgiving break and everything, they'll start having 2 meets or 3 meets a week.
I see.
And that will, I mean, so Doug's been having the girls and Tom's having the boys. They do squats every day at practice.
You said squats?
Squats, yes. So
Oh,
it builds
goodness.
their leg muscles, gets them prepared because whenever you start those 3 meets a week, you're going to get tired. Your legs are going to be sore because you're throwing a lot. I mean, it prepares them for what's coming.
How much practice do you do on a typical week where you have 2 meets? Especially, like you said, fatigue really plays a factor with all the throwing that you're doing during the meets.
So with 2 meets, usually on Tuesday or Thursday, so if they're on Tuesday, Thursday, you'll practice Monday, Wednesday, and then obviously you'll probably practice that Friday too because you'll have to prepare for that following week, which will be on a Tuesday meet probably. So you'll have to practice Friday, Monday, and prepare for that next one.
And Caitlin Valentine leaving the split du jour, 5-7. Maddie Green lined up on 14. And just missed the head pin, so she missed to the right. Seen a lot of misses to the right here in game 2, Tyler.
Time to start moving our feet, maybe a little bit. Because that line's now starting to dry out, which is going to start playing a big factor here soon, as we've seen.
So Caitlin Valentine looking to hit the 5-7 split. Has a chance. Nice.
Nice. Good pickup.
Pickup by Caitlin Valentine, picking up the 5-7. Maddie Green with the easier 1-2, and she gets a spare. Another thing is that when you hit a split like that, that gives you momentum.
Yes, it definitely helps you build confidence for the following ball and for the rest of the game, really.
So when your path is gone, such as this, and actually I want to see the adjustment that Mackenzie, she Brooklyned on 13. We'll see how she does on 14. And looks like she missed to the right again, missed to the right there. But she did leave the 2, so it should be a relatively simple spare for her, coming off a 220 game. So when you leave, when your line is gone, do you aim more to the left, although you're flirting with the gutter as a right-hander, or do you aim more towards the middle of the lane and try to maybe angle your ball further out?
So it's kind of tricky. It kind of depends on how you throw. If you have enough hand and enough, you can hook it enough. You could play outside and hook it back. But if you kind of don't have enough hand and can't hook it as much, playing inside isn't going to hurt. It's going to help a lot.
So Mackenzie did pick up the spare. She's gone spare, strike, spare thus far here in game 2. Here's Caitlin Valentine on lane 16. And Caitlin left a 7.
So these 7 and 10 pins should be these girls' friends and the boys. I mean, both sides do 7s and 10s every day at practice. It's their best friend almost.
Coach Seckel has them practicing 7-10s a lot?
Every day.
Oh, wow. Okay. Speaking of 10, Logan Shoemaker left a 10 on 17. So we'll take a look at Caitlin trying to pick up the 7 on 16, and then Logan on 17. And Caitlin misses the 7 pin on 16. Maddie Green tried to get that split over on 13, but was unable to. And you just need to tap it.
Just need to tap it.
Logan Shoemaker picks up the 10. Well, let's take a look at Mackenzie Clubb. Did she have the high game in game 1, Tyler?
Yes, for the girls. So
and there's a strike.
220. Caitlin Valentine with a 179. Brooklyn Welch with a 152. Hanley Songer with a 177. And Maddie Green with a 125.
Okay. Appreciate that update. take a look at Tate Walker looking to pick up a 1-3-10. And he knocks them all down, so he picks up his spare. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw him throw two-handed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
That seems to be the latest fad that's hit bowling. I know you bowl one-handed, Tyler, but talk
Yes.
about doing the two-handed bowling. I guess what's the advantages and disadvantages of it?
So as you said, it's been on the rise. Obviously, a lot of people have been switching to two-handed. The younger generation loves bowling two-handed. They're following Jason Belmonte.
Oh yeah, everybody knows who Jason Belmonte
yes.
is. Yeah.
There's quite a few advantages to it. Obviously, if you're a one-hander switching to two-handed, it'll be very tough for you.
Mm-hmm.
Some advantages is though that you get more hook, you can get more speed on it, and really you get a lot more pin action from it as well.
What are some disadvantages of two-handed?
There's throwing two-handed, it's kind of whenever you're bent down like that and throwing it, it's easy to miss your mark. Which obviously in bowling, you miss your mark, things can go south very quickly.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I know from experience.
Me too.
Hanley Songer on lane 15 knocks
Good
down
ball.
all 10. Yeah, good ball by Songer. Maddie Green on 14. Just missed the two as she didn't quite hit the pocket flush. Thought she still might have gotten enough pin action to get that final pin, but she still has a makeable spare over on lane 14.
Yes, a lot better than the 5-7.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I think with you mentioned it before with the two-handed bowling, you got to really bend over and get down, and I think a lot of people are not willing to do that, or I would think you'd have to have a sore back after a while.
Yes, I definitely would not be able to do it. I'd probably fall on my face.
There's Maddie Green picking up the 2-pin, so she gets a mark in frame 5 of game 2. Mackenzie Clubb working off a strike. Clean game thus far for the sophomore. In lane 15, there's Caitlin Valentine. And she picks up her spare. And Mackenzie leaves the 4-7. But a makeable spare for her. You can see the device that's on her hand, and a lot of the ladies have that on their wrist. Talk about bowling with that, and what it does for you.
So it really helps keep your wrist cupped, so that way you can hook the ball a lot more. It gives you more hand, so you keep it, so you don't go flat. If you throw it flat, you're not going to get much hook, but it definitely helps keep your wrist cupped, so you can hook more.
And Mackenzie looking to knock down the 4-7, and she just got the 4, but couldn't quite get the 7. So that's one of it just clipped it. And a lot of times when you shoot the 4-7, you're like, okay, as long as I hit the 4, I'm going to hit the 7. But sometimes the pins don't bounce that way.
Yeah, it really depends on the angle you hit. I mean, if you don't hit it right, it's not going to bounce into the 7. See if she can bounce back here.
On lane 13. And here's Mackenzie Clubb. And little sister gets a strike. And a nice one-pin pickup by Dallas. Over on lane 12. Brooklyn Welsh looking for the 10 pin, but misses on lane 16. You mentioned, go ahead.
That kind of like we were talking earlier. One thing that whenever you get going in the flow is you really, when you don't look up, you don't realize a lot of things. I just realized over on lane 18, Cooper Daniel from Des Moines Hoover had a perfect game going into the 8th frame.
Yeah, and then he got a 9 spare as Hannah Songer gets herself a strike over on 16. I think you can get lost in the shuffle when you have a perfect game working like that. So, and that could be advantageous. Nice shot by Tate Walker there on lane 17.
That's kind of one of those things where when you have a perfect game going, you really you kind of keep to yourself. I mean, you really don't want to be. You're kind of focused. You're trying to remain calm.
There's a good ball by Caitlin Valentine on 16. Let's take a look at Olivia Mogler on lane 12. And she gets a strike. Nice shot by Olivia. Okay. You talked about keeping your wrist cupped. Talk to some people about keeping your wrist cupped because obviously when you swing your arm back, you want to try to keep your wrist as firm as possible.
Right.
On your follow through.
Right. So if you don't keep your wrist cupped or firm in that position, if you lay your hand down flat, you're going to bounce the ball into the lane, and you're not going to get any hook out of it because if it bounces on the lane, it kind of kills it really early.
So it looks like the ladies are finished over on 11 and 12. Olivia finished with the 127. So a good final shot for her. Maddie Green's at lane 14. And that ball looked good, and she left the 2. So again, or I beg your pardon, that was the 4?
Yeah, the 4, yep. Cooper Daniel from Des Moines Hoover, he's on a tear right now.
Huh. Nice ball there by Brooklyn Welsh. Yeah, you're right. Cooper Daniel is bowling like a demon over on lane 18. We'll take a look at him after Maddie Green misses the 4 pin. Hannah Songer at 15. Gets a strike.
Got the little love tap there from on the 10 pin.
Hey, any help you can get to get down that pesky 10 pin. And there's Cooper, as you said. Oh, and as soon as we put the camera on him, he probably threw his worst shot of the second game. Mackenzie Clubb gets a strike. Caitlin Valentine on lane 15. Oh, goodness gracious.
Take another fall.
They all fell. That's all that matters.
They made it look like dominoes, but hey, it's okay.
Maddie Green on 13. Left to 10. That was a good shot, but just left a solid 10. So she'll have to contend with that for her second shot in frame 8. So we're wrapping up the individual round as we get ready for Baker. And is there any type of science to the order of Baker that the coaches like to do?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Your anchor is really
Maddie gets
the person you most definitely can count on every time, every shot that will give you a good shot every time. Your anchor is very important.
Oh, no, we have a spill over in over by the Ottumwa girls section on lane 11 and 12. So
don't step in it.
Mackenzie Clubb will look to get that out of her head as she fires a strike. Yeah, you kind of knew that before you even hit the pocket. Is that the brotherly intuition?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that one. Now you're looking at Logan Shoemaker. Oh, he really contorts his wrist. That looks like that hurts. Good thing he's young.
Yes.
And he knocks down all 10 at 17. I can't. That doesn't look. That makes my wrist hurt. Looking at the way he just cranks his wrist around.
Yeah, that does not look comfortable.
10th frame for the guys over on lane 17 and Tate Walker of Ottumwa, the two-hander. Leaves the 10. I've also here's the evolution that I've seen as far as bowling is concerned. When I first started seeing two-handed bowlers, for their strike ball they would throw with two hands, but then for their spare ball they would only throw with one hand. Now you see them both throw strikes and spares with two hands.
Yeah, so that's kind of going back to however you feel most comfortable. If you feel most comfortable doing with one hand for spares, I mean, all for it. It just kind of depends on your comfort level, like what you think is best to pick it up.
Haley Songer just got the 5 to avoid the 5-7 split. So she's got herself a makeable 7 there here in lane, in frame 7. And actually, Songer's having a pretty strong game right now. That's just her second non-strike through 7 frames.
Yes. One good thing for this Ottumwa girls team is they lose nothing this year. They have no seniors, which is very nice for them.
There's a spare for Songer. Maddie Green on lane 14. Oh, she left a 5. Should we put our hands up or not? That might be mean.
That might be mean.
I just personally speaking, I've practiced before in this alley, and she's put her hand up when I've left a 5. So I don't. It would be payback, justifiably so, if I did put my hand up. But I'm a professional, Tyler, so I'm going to leave my hand down. And Maddie Green gets the 5. Good for her. So a nice foundation frame for her in the 9th frame here in Game 2. Looking to improve on her 125 score in Game 1. Meanwhile, apropos for Thanksgiving, little sister Mackenzie Club is working on the turkey. Hit the head pin a little head on, almost got a little bit of luck, but left the 3. Sometimes when you hit the head pin head on and you still strike, you just go, okay, that
shouldn't have happened, but it's okay.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
Too many times you hit the pocket flush and you only get 8 or 9, and you're just like, okay, why? So those few times where you get a little luck in return, might as well.
Yes.
So Mackenzie Club working on the 3-pin spare. And she gets it. So she has a chance for a very strong Game 2 as well. She's having herself a good individual round. Looks like everybody is done except for lanes 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yes.
All of which are on your screen. And so Maddie Green will start things off here in lane 10. What's Coach Teckle like? He seems like he's willing to get hard on you when he needs to, but he also likes to have a good time apparently.
Yes. So that's one good thing. The girls, Coach Teckle's the girls love him. I mean, he whenever it's time to be serious, he could be serious, but he really likes to make it fun for them. I mean, make it an enjoyable experience.
So Maddie Green has a 4-7 left. Working on a couple of spares, including the foundation frame. And that one looks good. And she gets the 4-7, so she'll get the extra ball. See if she can live by the adage that you say Ottumwa bowlers have, 9 or better. Here for her final ball of Game 2. Brooklyn Welsh on lane 15, left a 5. And I think that was Hannah Songer waving up the 5 at her. So maybe I should have waved the 5 at Maddie. I missed the opportunity. Speaking of Maddie Green on lane 13, she finishes with 7. and a 141. So she improved on her score for game 1. Brooklyn Welsh on 15 gets a spare. They're in the 8th frame, by the way, so still a couple of frames left for the ladies on 15 and 16. So Mackenzie Clubb getting set to start the 10th frame with a strike.
Hanley Songer also with a strike on 15.
There you go. What I noticed is that we saw the one strike that I think it was Caitlin Valentine bowled, or no, it was Hanley, that it just all fell like dominoes. It wasn't that strong driving strike. You see no such thing from Mackenzie. Her strikes are not cheap. They are definitely earned. And there she missed a little bit left. But fortunately,
very fortunate.
Yeah, it left only the 6. And there's a domino strike from Caitlin Valentine in the 8th frame over on 15. So it looks like Mackenzie Clubb looks like she'll be over 200 again here in game 2, and she'll look to pick up the spare, which she does. A clean game from she had one open frame back in I think it was the 5th frame. But still, 207. So 225 at 207 for Mackenzie. Not bad at all.
Good enough for a 427 series.
There you go. That's for 2 games. That's not too bad at all. Currently in the 9th frame on 15 and 16. Brooklyn Welsh really getting set to step up to the line. And Brooklyn almost went Brooklyn, although she left the 3. I think now that everybody else has done bowling, everybody else is getting a little rowdier.
Yes.
Focusing on.
So when it comes to Baker games, that's when everybody kind of starts being a little bit more loud.
Okay,
and
involved. Okay, so all right, so it's going to get more lively in here, is what you're saying.
Yes, when all the girls are on the same lane together, they're a hoot. They have a blast.
And so Brooklyn lines up and hits the 3 to earn the spare. Nice foundation frame for her. Hanley Songer's having a pretty strong game.
Yes, very strong showing.
Clean through 8 frames.
That's one good thing about this format that they have is if you don't do good one game, there's all first game, the second game is always you can bounce back for sure.
And Songer, had a messenger, but it missed the 9. There are some days, Tyler, when I bowl, and I get a lot of messengers that are flying around. Other times, not really. So what do you attribute that to?
It kind of just depends on, weather. A lot of people think
weather.
A lot of people think it's crazy, but weather. I mean, it kind of just depends. I mean, if it's humid out, pins are a little bit more stickier. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's almost like your shoe when you slide. If it's humid out, it's going to be a lot tougher for you to slide.
Okay.
Weather plays a big factor, and also, I mean, it just kind of depends on if you're hitting your mark and stuff like that. Pin action. If you have a strong hand, if you can really hook it, you're going to have a lot of pin action. That's kind of like why two-handers have a ton of pin action.
Yes.
I mean, the harder you hit the pocket, the more you're going to make the pins fly all over.
Right. Oof. There is a domino strike for. Oh, I beg your pardon. She left the 10, but she almost left the split. So fortunate for Caitlin Valentine. After the ladies wrap up here on lane 16, we'll take a break and get set for the Baker games for both the boys and the girls. 10 pin for Caitlin Valentine, and she missed it. And now we're in the 10th frame. Brooklyn Welsh on lane 15. And she leaves the solid 10. Tyler, before the Baker round, do they allow more warm-ups, or is it pretty much you just go in and Brooklyn got the 10? I thought she might have missed it the way she stumbled out of her.
So you get nope, you don't get any warm-ups heading into Baker's. It's,
okay.
You make your lineup and you're off to the races.
Okay. One more ball for Brooklyn Welsh. Just 2 open frames for Brooklyn. And she finishes with 7. Thought she might have gotten 8 with the messenger, but 181. A good game for Brooklyn. Now Hanley Songer working on a clean game. What's your personal preference as far as wiping the ball down, Tyler?
So I do actually, when I'm bowling, I don't wipe my ball down.
Ever?
Nope, ever.
Wow.
I mean, after I'm done, I clean them, but
yeah. Oh,
in the middle of bowling, I don't touch it at all.
Okay. Hanley left a 5, and I think Brooklyn, and revenge of what Hanley did earlier in the game, she left up her 5 hand. So, I mean, yeah, left up a hand. So, we have all been there.
Yes.
And Hanley Songer picks up the spare, and she'll get one more ball. So the top scoring individual, do they get? Is it like a medalist or?
So only time that they will medal is in a tournament. So,
I see. Like
Baker tournament, there's a couple that Ottumwa goes to. Conference tournament, you'll medal if you're one of the top shots, and then sub-state and state. If you qualify for state and then sub-state, if you're one of the top, you'll medal as well.
Hanley leaves a ringing 10. But a 227 for Songer. That might be the high for the ladies so far today.
Yes, that is the top game so far for the ladies so far.
Caitlin Valentine, first ball at the 10th frame. And fortunate to just leave the 2. Nice pickup by Angela Hill of Des Moines Hoover in lane 16. Looks like she might have missed that. Yep, missed it to the left. And so Caitlin Valentine still with the 162, a decent game, but a disappointing 10th frame for the young lady. So we will take a timeout and step away as we get set for the Baker round of Ottumwa's first tournament. Take a look at all the girls huddled around Coach Doug Teckel as they prepare for the Baker round. And we'll be back on the Ottumwa Radio Group Sports Network.
Whether you're buying or selling property, contact our qualified staff of experienced professional salespeople at our offices, now located next door to Walgreens. We're right in the heart of Ottumwa at 301 West 4th, so stop by or call our new office line at 684-1234. Bridge City Realty, Southeast Iowa's #1 real estate agency.
Hi, this is Vince Tyson, General Manager with Citizens Mutual in Bloomfield, the area's premier broadband provider. Wapello County, we have heard your screams of frustration. You need reliable internet, and we are proud to expand high-speed fiber internet into Wapello County. Express your interest today by going to findmyfiber.mycmtech.com. Again, that's findmyfiber.mycmtech.com. We look forward to hearing from you and bringing you the very best internet service at Citizens Mutual, coming soon to Wapello County.
Hey, it's Sam here, your Lisco sales rep. Summertime weather is just around the corner, so you know the drill. Construction is in full swing, and we have limited time to get your order on the list for this year. As you're prioritizing your goals for 2022, let's make you the priority. We can chat details about what would make your home or business data connection the most successful. To add or update your services, call me, Samantha Knoll, for your Lisco sales and account management. 641-209-5400, 209-5400, or visit us at lisco.com.
At Family First Chiropractic, it is our goal to get you and your family as healthy as possible and keep you healthy for the rest of your life. We deliver an elevated level of care for the entire family. We approach healthcare from a holistic view, incorporating multiple chiropractic techniques and physical therapy to ensure that our patients achieve the best results as fast as possible. We believe you deserve the best. A little preventative care now will eliminate pain management in later years. We want our kids to grow and live an active, healthy lifestyle. Get your family checked at Family First Chiropractic.
Alex did it for me, copied it.
Baker round is underway as the boys are bowling over to our right.
Both teams off to a good start.
Both teams started off with a strike. Yeah, you're going to have to help me with the boys because their names aren't not even up on the scoreboard anymore.
Right.
It's just A and B.
So that's Aiden Hoskins up the bowl now for Ottumwa.
All right. Appreciate that. Hoskins has a split to deal with. A 1-9-10, which is not easy.
As the girls prepared for theirs to start.
Beg your pardon, it was a 3-9-10, not a 1-9-10. You knew what I meant, Tyler.
Right, yes.
Got the back two, but couldn't quite get the three. So an open frame for Ottumwa. Meanwhile, on the ladies' side, Caitlin Valentine for the first ball leaves the 6-10.
Josh Lee up the bowl now for the boys.
Ah, nice strike. And Caitlin Valentine gets the spare. Good start for the Ottumwa girls in the Baker game. Is that Logan? No.
Logan Shoemaker.
Yeah, okay,
yep.
yeah, all right.
Good ball by him.
Yeah, definitely. So Logan Shoemaker gets a strike. Ottumwa so far, actually, Ottumwa and Des Moines Hoover, the boys anyway, are bowling identical to each other. A strike, an open frame, followed by a double. Now a turkey for Des Moines Hoover, and a 10-pin left for Ottumwa. So who's the Ottumwa boy that's at lane 17 now?
That is Charlie Handling.
Okay.
He is a senior. Charlie returns from the state teams last year.
Ah, and he just tapped the 10. Brooklyn Welsh gets her spare at 13, so the Ottumwa girls start off spare in the first Baker game. Just one frame per individual. Each bowler, 5 bowlers, each bowl 2 frames apiece. And there's Maddie Green leaving 3.
Tate Walker goes.
Tate Walker went Brooklyn to get a strike. And on 17, oof.
Aiden Hoskins.
Fortunate strike there. Can Maddie Green get the spare? Yes. 3 straight spares for Ottumwa now. Mackenzie Clubb. Her first Baker ball coming up. And almost a Brooklyn for Mackenzie. Left the 9. Meanwhile, we have a rather difficult split here for the boys. And he got 2. That's all you really have to you can ask for in a situation like that.
Right. Whenever you have a tough split, coaches will always tell you go get as many pins as you can. I mean, if you have 2 on one side, you're not going to try and pick it up. You're going to try and get those 2 because every pin counts.
Meanwhile, Mackenzie Clubb just clipped her single pin spare, but it went down. Logan Shoemaker for the boys. Rips the rack and gets all 10. Hallie Songer for the girls. That they counted or no?
So that it moved it out of range, so they'll have to reset that.
Yeah, they'll have to put up the 9, I believe it was.
The 9 pin on 13. It didn't fall out of the.
So they'll have to reset that, and that'll turn our attention to the boys. Ottumwa currently leading Des Moines Hoover, the boys anyway, 149 to 142. Going into the 10th frame, a single pin for Logan Shoemaker. Got it. So this is the final ball for Ottumwa in their first Baker game.
Like you said, Ottumwa and Des Moines Hoover for the boys right now are neck and neck.
Left a solid 10. 188 for Ottumwa in the first game. Oof. Something that could be exceeded by Hoover depending on, Hallie Songer flirting with the gutter and got the 9.
She was a little worried there.
Yeah, I was worried for her.
Yes.
Is this Cooper? No, I guess it's not. Oof. A double for a Des Moines bowler, now looking for the turkey to wrap up the 10th frame. This is what that anchor you talk about is so important, Tyler.
Yes, very important. The anchor is one that you count on for when it's crucial that you need a strike. They're the one that you rely on.
And so far he's gotten 2. Here in frame number 10, looking for the turkey, and he's got it. And Des Moines Hoover does beat Ottumwa in the first Baker, 192 to 188. So that 10th frame turkey proved to be the difference. Meanwhile, the girls varsity, this is Caitlin Valentine shooting at the 7. And just got a piece of it, and that's all you need. There's a common cry when that happens. They say, "Don't hurt it."
Yes. Just gotta tap it.
Yeah, you just need to tap it. So now Brooke and Welsh here in lane 13, frame 7 of the first Baker game. So as they cycle through the Baker games, Tyler, as we look at Brooklyn get a strike, do they do the same order for each game, or do they change the order? How does that work?
So you could change the order in the Baker games.
Okay.
It just depends on how it's like if say your fourth or third person isn't doing the best or isn't hitting the pocket like you want them to, and your first person is, you can make that adjustment of just swapping. So your third person go to your first, and your first can go to the third, or however you want to do it.
Maddie Green with a Brooklyn strike. A big strike for Maddie Green. She's been fighting it all night, but she was able to get a strike there. Meanwhile, Hoover and Ottumwa are already started their second Baker game. Mackenzie Club. Oh, there's that one of the strikes we talk about. Hit the head pin head on, but still they all fall. And a team turkey for Ottumwa. And how about that? Baker, they have gone clean through 10.
And that was one thing with the new format last year that was preached a lot. I mean, you have to, especially in the 15-game format, it's very crucial that you pick up spares. You can't leave any pins left behind. I mean, because when you start doing that, you start letting them take advantage, and then you can't let it build off of one another.
One of the boys from Des Moines Hoover got a pair of messengers that knocked down the 6 and then the 10. How's that for living right?
That is crazy.
So the Ottumwa team working on a 4-bagger. Hanley Songer already struck for the first ball of the 10th frame. Here's her second. And she got I was going to say she got them all. Nope, left the 10.
Solid 10.
Yep. Has to go all the way back to 16 to grab her spare ball and come back to the 13th. So the final ball for the Ottumwa ladies here in game 1 of the Baker, and it is a clean game for the ladies. What a well done. And they defeat Des Moines Hoover in game 1 of the Baker, 222 to 84.
Ottumwa boys currently putting on a strong show on lane 18.
Yes, they most certainly are. A clean game for the boys so far through 6. I'll get these names eventually, Tate. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Caitlin Valentine to start things off for the girls for the game 2 here.
So we got 2 of the 3. First open frame for Ottumwa here in game 3, and Caitlin Valentine ends up getting all 10. I think we got to the point now where we have both the boys and the girls, at least their lanes anyway, on the same frame. Here's Brooklyn Welsh in red to your left on lane 14. Her first ball of the second game of the Baker. And she got all 10.
That's one really good thing about the Baker games is once you start striking, it kind of flows through the whole team. I mean,
it gets
everybody
addictive?
gets in that rhythm.
Okay. Maddie Green on 14. She got a strike. Put up the gooseneck like she was playing basketball there. Right now, the boys are leading the Hoover boys. Ottumwa boys are leading the Hoover boys, 123 to 109. And the boys are just wrapping up the 8th frame. Mackenzie Club left the 3. And there's a nice pickup for the boys on the other end. Club to keep the girls clean, and she got it. You know what? You said that the girls get rowdy come Baker time. I think they can get rowdier. I don't think we've seen rowdy yet.
Yes, they can get a little more loud. I agree.
Hadley Songer on lane 14. Her first ball to second Baker. Oof, let the split. Four, 7, 10. Meanwhile, Logan Shoemaker over on 18 gets the
pickup.
4-7. So the 4-7-10 for Songer. And she got 2.
A little love tap there for Charlie Hamling.
Yeah, I like Charlie. Got what I love is that when that one pin goes into the gutter and taps that 10, you feel like you're living right.
Yes.
Caitlin Valentine here in the 6th frame for the girls in game 2. Misses right. So there's 4 lanes going on right now, Tyler. So is it junior varsity in one lane, varsity in the other, or?
So junior varsity for the girls is on 11 and 12.
Okay.
13, 14, and 17, 18 are the varsity for the boys and girls. And then on lanes 19 and 20 is the JV for the boys.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought they put the 2 varsity in the middle, but
Yep.
I wasn't quite sure.
Yep,
Open frame for Caitlin Valentine, so a couple open frames in a row for the girls.
Which is it's nice to have the boys and the girls very close to each other because I mean both the boys coach Tom Maher and girls coach Doug Teckle. They help each other out. I mean they make suggestions to each other of what they think a certain athlete might need to do or change, and they help everybody out. It's a very big team effort here.
The boys bounce back, win game 2 of the Baker, 179 to 175. The final bowler for Hoover pulled a turkey, and so Ottumwa's big lead was able to just barely stand. Brooklyn Walsh on lane 14 with a 7-pin, and she got it. Meanwhile, Ottumwa starts off with a strike. Maddie Green stepping up to the foul line on 14. She's thrown 2 strikes her last 2 balls.
With Tate Walker on lane 17 for Ottumwa.
Green leaves the 5, and Tate leaves the 6. Yeah, this time I'm holding up my hand. I don't care. Maddie Green deserves it. Oh, she's not even looking. That's not even fair. So Tate Walker got the 6-pin. Maddie Green got the 5-pin. I had my doubts, but she got it.
Josh Lee on 17 for Ottumwa.
Left 4. Mackenzie Clubb for the ladies. And she left the 6'10". Seems like Mackenzie's lost a bit of rhythm from the individual game going over to Baker.
So yeah, where she's throwing, there's not a ton of oil. So it's a matter of getting enough hand underneath of it and really trying to get the ball back to the pocket.
Look, yeah, it looks like she took the brace off her wrist as well.
Yes, so she does that for her spare shots.
Ah, I see. She misses the 6'10" spare there, so an open frame for the ladies, but they still have a commanding 159-46 lead over Hoover in game 2 of the Baker. Nice strike there. Is that Aiden?
That is Logan Shoemaker.
Ah, jeez. And a 5-pin left by Hanley Songer.
Yeah, good shot there by Charlie Hanley.
I think a lot of I typically see a lot of big backswings for boys and in particular men, but a lot of the boys on Ottumwa's team, they don't have particularly large backswings.
No, so that's one good thing that Coach Maher has done. He's really worked with them on getting them to keep their hand under the ball and just be able not to have to force themselves to bring it up so high to hook it and get that speed, but being able to cup their hand and get that ball hooked enough to get to the pocket.
So Hanley Songer picked up the 5-pin, and this is the final ball of game 2 of Baker. And Hanley Songer, after stumbling a bit, left the solid 10, but 178 for the ladies. They win game 2 of the Baker. The boys,
solid 10 by Tate Walker.
Yeah, Tate Walker has a 10 to deal with, although they're bowling clean through 6 frames. As we said, Tate Walker, a two-handed bowler, had trouble with the 10 so far, but not there, as he's able to earn the spare. What makes Ottumwa such a good bowling program, Tyler? Because as we said off the top, you said the ladies have been to state 22 times in a row. It's almost, I don't want to call Ottumwa a bowling factory, but it kind of is. So what has made Ottumwa so good over the years?
Really, it lies in our in coaching. I mean, Coach Teckle has been around for all 22 of those years. Coach Maher has also been around for all 22 of those years as well. And they really do a good job at building the program up. I mean, it starts down at the youth program. I mean, they come out and they watch and just being involved in the program has really built that stone piece that you need to be successful every year.
I think when it comes to any sport, as you talk about developing from the ground up, it starts with, it doesn't even matter as Logan Shoemaker gets all 10. Nice shot by Logan. I think it starts with just teaching kids to have fun. And don't worry about the results, because obviously you can get hung up on that a lot if you let yourself do that. But let yourself have fun first.
Right.
And then the fundamentals will come after that.
Right. And Coach Teckle and Coach, they both do a great job at letting the kids have fun. I mean, they crack jokes at practice. I mean, the atmosphere it's always lively. I mean, nobody's down, nobody's hanging their heads. Everybody's always up. I mean, that's such a positive environment.
Boys looks like they have game 3 in hand against Des Moines Hoover, leading 172-80 going into the final frame.
Good ball there by Charlie Hanley.
A double for Charlie.
The 3-6-10 left there for Caitlin Valentine on lane 13. Start off Baker game 3 for the girls.
And Charlie just leaves the 7, but 2:31 for the boys in game 3. Caitlin Valentine, as alluded to by Tyler Clubb, left the 3-6-10, but gets the spare. So good first frame for the ladies. Does bowling ever have problem with numbers as far as getting people out, or?
So this year, both the boys and the girls have relatively low numbers compared to other years. My senior year we had 25 guys out, and this
Wow.
year the boys have 10.
I see.
And the girls also have 10. It's kind of one of those things where it goes back to the youth program. I mean, getting them out, getting them there, having fun, keeping them out is the biggest thing. And not only do we have a youth program, we also have a middle school program that Coach John Eddy, the assistant boys coach, does a fantastic job running. I mean, it keeps kids out, it keeps them wanting to come back and continue throughout high school.
Brooklyn Welsh gets the ever nuisance 10th pin. Now Maddie Green on 13. Another 5 for Maddie. She's not even looking up this time.
Her teammates back here got her.
We'll tell you how Maddie does. Meanwhile, the Ottumwa boys are working on a double, starting off their fourth game. And 3 left.
For Josh Lee.
For who?
Josh Lee.
Oh, Josh Lee?
Josh Lee, yep.
Okay. I was wondering who that was. Maddie Green did get the 5 pin, and now we'll take a look at little sister Mackenzie Clubb on lane 13. Josh Lee, by the way, just got 2 of the 3. Mackenzie Clubb just got to the left of the head pin and left the 6-10. That's the spare that she missed back in the previous Bakery game, Tyler.
Yes.
Why did she take off her brace for spare shots?
So, as I said, so the brace helps her cup it, and Kenzie's one that's a spare ball. That's a plastic ball, so it won't hook at all. So she takes it off so she could just throw straight at it. So that way nothing's in her way. She does a good job here of picking that one up.
That time she got the 6-10. So kind of what you tell yourself if you're bowling individually, just get spares. That's what Ottumwa has done. The ladies have through the first 4 frames, all 4 spares.
Yeah, spares crucially important, especially when you're at the state tournament or sub-state tournament, or even conference or regular meets. I mean, it's important all the time. There's Coach Tom Offer actually very funny saying that he always has is X's and slashes, not zeros and dashes. And
I love it. So a split, and okay, how do you deal with the, what's that, the 4-7-8?
Yeah,
Oh,
or no, 5.
4-7-5, you're right.
4-7-5, yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, here you have to hit right between them, just perfect to get all of them.
Hit right between the 4 and the 5.
Hanley has a good ball there.
Ooh,
Just didn't get over enough.
Ottumwa still leading. The girls are leading Des Moines Hoover 81-38 through 5 frames.
Ten-pin pickup there by Charlie Handling for the Ottumwa boys.
Caitlin Valentine for the girls.
Oh.
Almost a split. Instead, it's just a 7. think they have like a song or a saying for everything, it seems like.
Yes. So this group,
Oh, look at that.
this group is a very, very lively group that they have good chemistry. I mean,
Yeah.
every single one of them actually returned last year from last year's state qualifying team.
That was quite the strike thrown by the boys. And now Caitlin Valentine to try to get the 7, and she missed it, unfortunately. I would like to see at least one Brooklyn from Brooklyn Welsh.
Yes, that would be
before we say goodbye today.
Yes.
She's over on 13. And that one's your more conventional pocket hit, but she left the 10. You said they bowl 5 Baker games, Tyler?
Yes, 5. Yep,
Okay.
5 total. Now when we do, Ottumwa will host a Baker tournament here, I think in January after Christmas break. That will be the 15-game format.
Oh, wow. Okay.
15 Baker game format.
Looks like Hoover and Ottumwa again are locked up in a close one. And a nice pick up there.
Maddie Green goes Brooklyn for the Ottumwa girls.
Did she now? I missed it. So now Logan Shoemaker stepping up for the boys here in frame number 9.
Oh,
There's a messenger.
roller.
Yep. Mackenzie Clubb on 13. Solid 10. Logan Shoemaker on 18. Left 2. Ten frame for Mackenzie Clubb. Beg your pardon, 10 pin for Clubb, and she got it. To the approval of Big Brother.
She's a lot better at shooting those than me.
Me too. Shoemaker unfortunately misses the 2. Could be a crucial miss in a close game between Ottumwa and Hoover, because there's another strike there in the 10th frame. Although they are actually, that was a turkey to end things. So actually Ottumwa has won as we finish off the 10th frame. So by my count now, it looks like Ottumwa has won 3 of the 4 Baker for the boys.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
That would be their 3 and 1. Yep.
And the girls look like they are about to win their 4th against the Hoover girls as Hannah-Lee Songer gets to spare. We'll pan over to 13 to check out the final ball from Hannah-Lee Songer.
Good ball there by Charlie Handling for the Ottumwa boys. Another strike.
And Songer
Solid
leaves
10.
10. Another solid 10.
The Ottumwa boys will win that one 189 to 159.
That's Angela Hill for Des Moines Hoover. Don't see a lot of female two-handed boulders, but man, you're right about not only the speed, but also the revs, the spin that they can put on the ball two-handed.
It's crazy how much they get.
Almost makes you want to try two-handed until you actually try it.
Until you actually try it. Yeah, right.
So the girls win Game 5, 157 to 80. Well, if the Penguins move out of the way. 92, sorry. 157 to 92.
As you see, Coach Teckle's down there talking to the girls right now, and that's an important thing. When you're in Baker games, whenever you're shooting good and then you kind of have one of those rough games, you can't let it affect you because, as I said, with the 15-game Bakers for the state tournament last year, that was the first year they'd done that format. So the first 15 games it was just for qualifying, just for seeding. You go into bracket play, you only get 5 games, so best of 3, really. I mean, first of 3 will win. I mean, you have one rough game, you have to bounce back, or you could be going home pretty quickly.
Yeah, because if you don't stop it and nip it at the bud, things can go sideways pretty quickly, right?
Very quickly, right?
Wow. Ottumwa boys started off with a spare in Game 5. In Baker, do they go by games 1 or pins?
What's that?
In Baker, do they go by games 1 or do they go by pins?
Still pins. So all the scores will be added together with the individual scores.
Okay.
And that will get your total amount.
Okay. So then does it turn out to just be whether it's a win or a loss, or like do you get a certain number of points or?
So win or loss. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Here's Tate Walker. Oh, no, it wasn't Tate Walker.
That
was Josh Lee. I knew that. He picks up the 3-6-10. Meanwhile, Caitlin Valentine starting off Game 5 for the ladies, and she also has left a 3-6-10. Logan Shoemaker for Ottumwa on lane 17. Hit it a bit to the right and left the 2. Valentine picks up her spare. Differing schools of thought when it comes to the spare ball, Tyler. Some people really crank it up and throw it hard. Some people really like to take their time and really just ease it up there and really crank down on the speed.
Right.
What's what's your personal rule of thumb?
So if I have a 10 pin, I crank it up so that way it doesn't have as much of a chance of falling off. If you can get down there quicker, the longer it stays on, the better you'll have a chance.
The longer it's on the lane, the more chance it has.
The more chance you'll have.
I love that philosophy.
Good ball there by Charlie Handling for the boys.
Yeah, nice strike there by Charlie. Brooklyn has left the 10. Oh, little help from the gutter there on 17.
Boys off to a good start here for this game.
Brooklyn Welsh picks up her strike. Tate Walker for the boys on 17. Nice looking ball from Tate Walker. Maddie Green on 14.
That was a good ball.
Yeah, left the 10, however, but yeah, you're right. It was a good looking ball from her. Ottumwa boys are just on a roll.
Yes.
Over in 17. They're working on a 4-bagger.
Good pickup there by Maddie Green on the 10 pin.
So what do you call, like, I know 3 in a row is called a turkey. Is there any more? Like,
So 4 in a row is called a ham bone.
a ham bone.
Now, after that, I'm not sure.
From turkey to ham bone. That's quite interesting.
Yes.
Mackenzie Clubb on 14, hit the head pin head on and left the 10.
There.
Yes, they did. Well, I would have just left the baby split 310, which, if you're going to have a split, that's probably the easier one to have. Logan Shoemaker gets the 7 on 17. So Ottumwa boys continue their clean Game 5. Looks like they'll overcome Des Moines Hoover here in Game 5 as well. So they dropped Game 1, but they bounced back beautifully. Looks like they'll win the next 4. Mackenzie Clubb couldn't quite stay on to get the 10. And Charlie gets the first strike for Ottumwa in lane 17. Hannelly Songer, lane 14. Looked good and a ringing 10. And a ringing 7 for Charlie in lane 17.
Good pickup there by Charlie.
Yep. And so Ottumwa finishes 212 in Game 5, far outpacing Hoover, who finished with a 141 in Game 5. And so just as suddenly as this meet started, it is coming to its end. The boys are done. They are shaking hands. I think it's safe to say Ottumwa boys probably beat the Hoover boys, although we'll wait for the official total. Still 5 frames to go, make that 6 here in lanes 13 and 14. Hallie Songer. On lane 5, nice.
The Ottumwa boys shot a overall total of 2,775 pins.
What is a good total?
So 2,700, that's not bad. For boys at the state level, you'll want to shoot around 29 to 3,000.
Okay. So 2,900, 3,000 is good for boys. What about girls?
Girls, 28 to 29.
Okay.
That's a really good score for girls. The 3,000 is also, 3,000 for the girls, that is a fantastic total for a team.
Okay. Caitlin Valentine leaving the 5. You see a couple of hands waving on your screen. And she picks up the 5. Brooklyn Welsh went 9 spare in her first ball.
Good ball there by
and she gets
Brooklyn.
a strike. Maddie Green with the 4-7-10 split.
I mean, best, like the girls are down there chanting right now to her. The best option here is to go ahead and get 2.
Okay. I gotta say though, the way Maddie Green started off the meet, she got it to kick over to the 10, but just not quite able to clip the 10. But just to finish my thought, the way Maddie Green started off the meet with all those splits, all those 5-7 splits that we saw, I think she bounced back pretty good, especially in the Baker. She really came through for her team.
She really turned around and I mean, changed a few things maybe and really got going.
Speaking of turning things around, there's Mackenzie Clubb with what we're used to seeing, a strike from her.
Yes.
Henley Songer. And she gets a strike.
Good job.
So a strong finish for the girls as we approach the end of the Baker round for the ladies. Songer, you say you don't wipe her balls. She uses 2 towels to wipe off her balls. Second ball for Hanley Songer. Got them all. Oh, that was great. They definitely love to have a good time. These girls do. And the final ball for Hanley Songer of the day. Nice, strong finish. 194 for the ladies. They will sweep the Des Moines Hoover girls. Obviously, you would love to win every single meet that you're in, Tyler, but I guess for the first meets, what were your thoughts on how the boys and girls did here today?
Just starting out, I mean, they came out and showed a very strong start. I mean, obviously, there's a few things that starting come practice time for the next few times, they'll work on a few things, but definitely a strong start for both squads.
I think the worst, I guess. When I saw so many splits at the very beginning, what can you work on to try to avoid splitting?
Just really hitting your mark and knowing when to move and knowing when to make that move. I mean, if you don't move when you're supposed to, that's when you start leaving the splits and start hooking too much and going through the head pin. So just really working on when to move and knowing when and where and how.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. They have one more Baker game left.
They have one more.
Yeah, they were going at warp speed. The boys were,
yes,
but
they
apparently.
Were.
So I thought this was the final no messenger for Caitlin as she leaves the 7. You heard Coach Teckle tell Caitlin to move a couple boards to the right, I'm assuming.
Yes. Gives her a better shot and angle at this.
So Caitlin Valentine with a 7-pin left. And she just got it. When you're shooting at the 7 or the 10 and you hit the gutter side of the pin, leaves you a bit worried, but you still hit it. So.
Yes, I mean, you get a little worried a lot.
Oh, yeah. Now Brooklyn Welsh. Ooh, a split for Welsh. So there is the not so common 4-6, 7-9, 10 split.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's definitely a tricky one. That's the one you don't see every day.
Obviously, you want to aim to the side that has 3.
Right. Yep.
And hopefully
shoot one over.
Exactly. So you kind of want to shoot it like you're shooting at a 10 pin. And she ended up getting the 3 on the right side. That's basically all you could hope for.
Yep.
With
That's
a
the
split
best
like
scenario
that.
in that one.
Yep. Now it's Maddie Green's turn. She's had an up and down adventurous day. And that hits the pocket, but she leaves the 4. I think single pin spares can be a blessing and a curse. Yes, it sounds simple, but it's an awful lot of pressure.
Yes.
As Maddie Green misses the 4-pin, and you know what? We have all been there as well. So,
yep, that's it's tough, but you just got to keep your head up and keep cheering your team on and go to your next frame.
Now Mackenzie Clubb. Nice ball. I think whatever funk she had a couple of Baker games ago, I think she's pretty much out of it now.
Yeah, she made a move she moved inside, which is sometimes it's a risk, but it obviously has some rewards. So
Hanley Songer misses to the right, leaving the 1-2-4-7.
that's one thing. But by the time you get to your 5th Baker game, the oil on the outside, it's gone. There's none left. It's been all pushed inside, which is when you make that move to the inside line.
I also read that newer balls, too, they soak up oil a lot more than the older balls used to.
Yes.
As well.
So there's one type of ball, and it's called urethane balls.
Yeah.
And those, when you see somebody throw those at like a bowling meet like we're at right now, or anywhere really, it kind of if you get frustrated because those are the type of balls that throw oil everywhere. It messes with everybody's line.
Okay.
It really screws a lot of things up.
Do you just want to call them like a selfish blankety blank?
Yes.
But good job by Hanley Songer picking up the spare.
Good ball by Caitlin Valentine.
Oof. Solid 10. See, and Angela Hill there for Hoover on 14, she bowled two-handed for a strike ball. She tried to go one-handed for that 10-pin, and she ends up missing.
I would be really uncomfortable switching. I mean, that'd be kind of thrown 2 different ways. It could screw with you a lot.
Gotcha. Valentine for the 10, misses. Looked like she tried to throw conventionally, or throw the way that she usually does, like with the hook style.
Yes.
Instead of throwing it straight.
Everybody has their own preference, I guess.
Yep. When the lanes dry out like that, though, does that make it harder to hit the 10 if you do throw it that way?
Yeah. You So if you move on your strike ball, if you leave a 10, you should probably move a couple left.
Sure.
When you're throwing towards the 10, because that kind of gives you more room, because it will move a lot more with it being dry now.
Mm-hmm. So Brooklyn has a 6-10 left. Oh, hits the 6 but misses the 10. That's one of those cases where you aim it towards the 6 and 10, and then you just hit the 6 so straight on.
Chops it.
Yeah, there's just nothing you could do about that. That's very frustrating, though.
Yes, very frustrating.
Maddie Green. Went Brooklyn. She has a wry smile on her face as she walks back to her teammates. Hey, slap hands. It still counts. Mackenzie Clubb had a strike back in frame number 4. Now here in frame 9.
Ooh, solid.
Yeah, that looked like a good ball, but she left
Solid
the 8.
8.
Notice that she's keeping her wrist protector on now for the 8. Is it because she's aiming to one that's to her left? So she's going to use a little bit more spin?
Yep. So she'll have to hook it more.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Ooh. Just missed it. Mackenzie was so upset she left Hanley Songer hanging. Songer in the 10th. Just barely clipped that. That's kind of where you could see the lanes drying out.
Yep.
It hooked the way it usually did, but didn't quite get to the pocket the way it did earlier.
Right, yep.
So then obviously you want to adjust a little by moving inside a little bit more.
Right, yep. And really moving your mark. I mean, you need to move it inside more.
Looks like she missed. Yeah, she missed the final 4-pin spare. So a slow finish for Ottumwa there in Game 5. We'll see if that 126 holds up. Hoover still has 3 frames left, and looks like there's a rack issue on lane 14.
Yeah. Ottumwa girls shot 26.48 for their grand total for the day.
26.48.
That's not bad for your first meet of the year and everybody kind of maybe having a little bit of jitters. I mean, first meet jitters.
Sure.
Everybody has that, but everybody did a solid job today starting out. So
we'll wait for Hoover to wrap up as the ladies finish up as well. What's your favorite bowling memory, Tyler?
Oh, that's kind of easy, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
So I threw a 300 on lane 17-18 when I was a senior.
No kidding.
In youth league, yep.
Okay.
So that's my fondest memory.
You know, there are not many people that say that can. I know a lot. Since I started bowling, I know a lot of good bowlers here in Ottumwa. Surprisingly few can say that they've bowled a 300.
Yes, it is a very tough thing to do. I mean,
It's a very special club as well.
I mean, just keeping your nerves. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My last ball, I was shaking. So
it's funny you say that, because once people get to the 10th frame, the final frame, to a person, they say my hands were shaking. I couldn't help myself.
Yep.
And I've never been in that situation, so I don't know what that's like. But man, it has to be nerve-wracking knowing that you're like at the precipice.
Yes.
What helped you get through those final couple of balls, especially since your hands were shaking?
I put my hand over the fan and I just stood there and I just concentrated. I didn't think about it. I just finally. I mean, the last ball I was shaking so bad. I went Brooklyn.
Oh,
on my last ball. On my last ball.
But it still counts.
It still counts.
You Brooklyn your last ball to go 300.
Yes,
that is something else.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, very few people, I think, don't get their nerves rattled. There's one person in particular I know that doesn't, because he bowls like a robot. You probably know him, Brett Salter.
Oh, yes, Brett. Brett, very good bowler.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Him and another one I bowl at league with, Isaac Goodman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Just looking back here at the board already, last week he threw 2 300s in back-to-back nights.
Yes, yes. Those two are not human.
Yes.
So Hoover's wrapping up in frame 10. Ottumwa will hold on to their lead, and they'll sweep all 5 of their Baker games versus Des Moines Hoover. So you said the girls, you said the boys wound up with 26.
The boys shot a grand total of 27.75.
All right, and the girls shot 26.
26.45.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Yes.
Both believed to be good enough to win their meet today versus Hoover. So that will do it, and the 2 teams will shake hands, and we have reached the end of our meet. And a good debut for the Ottumwa boys and girls as they both defeat Des Moines Hoover. And what was a pretty entertaining time. And Tyler, man, I really appreciate you coming on with me and talking with me through all these things because obviously there's a level of expertise you have that I don't. But thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back again on the 29th. That's next Monday. So if you want to stop on by again, you're more than welcome. Here. All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, so for Tyler Clubb, this is Ellis Kojo wishing you, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
Thank you, appreciate that. For Tyler Clubb, this is Ellis Kojo wishing you a happy Thanksgiving as well at home or wherever you may be watching. Congratulations to the Ottumwa boys and girls defeating Des Moines Hoover here tonight, and you've been watching Ottumwa Bowling on the Ottumwa Radio Group Sports Network.